Ciao, what's poppin', Pumpkin Heads? It's your boy, Sweet Lou, back again with Pumpkin Stencils. Um, Today we're going to make a pumpkin stencil from scratch. I'm coming to it with no apps open. All I have is my internet browser, Google Chrome, and then we're gonna get from scratch, make a pumpkin stencil that you can print out and make carve a good pumpkin from. Now, I have an idea for what I want to do. I'm walking in thinking Midsommar, the movie Midsommar, maybe the cover art with the girl who's kind of sad and she's got like flowers in her hair. Um, but that will only work if it meets a few criteria, one of which is kind of having high shadow contrast. So I'm going to share my screen and then we'll search for images and then we'll find one that maybe fits that criteria. So that's step one, find a raw material image from which to build the pattern, and that's just some Googling. So let me share my screen. This was a movie I was thinking about buying. Uh, okay, so Midsommar. It's the movie. We'll go to images. Okay, let's see. So there's the smile one. This is a little better. Oh, it's got the tear. It's got high contrast. Um, but it is cropped in a way. Might be hard to work with. I don't know. I did the same one for Blair Witch one year. Okay, so we'll use advanced search. No. We'll use tools, type, size, large. Just get more material to work with. This will probably be very big. We'll have to take off the lettering if we use that. Maybe this one. We'll have to take off that lettering too. So there's no, I guess this one just has her crying. Hmm. It seems lower contrast. Yeah, so the thing to consider is that sometimes it's hard to dive into a pattern when you know how it might look in the end. Might not be worth investigation. Okay, let's do with my initial idea and we'll see if we get to a point where we reject it. All right, so we'll take this image. Let's save the image. We'll save it right to the desktop. There you go. Great. Now I will stop sharing this screen and share my other. Oh, no. Okay. So I have share the screen. Okay. I'll move myself out of the way. Okay. Sharing the screen. I'm going to use the image editor I use, which is GIMP. Yes, okay, and I'm going to click on this, and I'm going to say open with GIMP. Good, and it opens. Okay, this is GIMP 2.0, 2.1, an update available. Ooh, 3.0. Darn. Okay, not right now since we're filming, but let's do this. Okay. Mm. All right, so we'll take this, and now what I did last time was, hmm, let's crop this first. Here we go. In Zoom, just to make it easy to reference, in Zoom, I'm going to go to mm, my video and then adjust background and effects. and then add this image from desktop. Okay, oh, it's a little big, but it might come up if I need to point to some specific parts. We'll use that as my background. Go back to, you should be sharing the screen. Okay. Oh, was that a flip? Okay. So now that we have the raw image, we need to really evaluate it in terms of contrast. Can we get it so that it has no floating black? That's the rule. No floating black. You can have, when you reduce it down to three colors, white, black, and gray, you can't have any floating black. So let's make this black and white. Is that desaturate color to gray? There it is. Oh, it looks like you get some things to play with as it goes. The radius, oh, can get real. That's weird. Looks like a bump map. I normally don't play with this. The number of samples. Looks like it's really chugging. This might be too big. Let's resize this so that we can get faster response time. So we'll scale it. We can go to, so that's the image size. Well, 800 by 600 is what I usually play with. So that's not too big. Maybe it's just a lot of work to descale. Okay, let's just do the flat descaling. Desaturate. Uh, Turns it to gray. There we go. Okay, and now we can start to think about it in three colors, black, white, and gray. Let's see if we can do the posterize. There it is. Posterize uh, just takes it down to a certain number of colors. I don't like doing this early on because you lose a lot of detail, and unless you keep a good reference. Oh, that's something I should do. Let's do Control Z here, back to color, and then duplicate the original unedited as a layer down below. So if I ever forget what I did, or if I ever lost some detail, or if I just completely lost what this is supposed to look like, I can go down to the original and have that reference just by changing the visualization. Here, I'll show you. So we're going to desaturate this again. Desaturate, boom, just take it down. Okay, so no colors. Good. And now if I ever wanted to look what it originally looked like, see if I lost anything, I can just toggle this visibility. Okay, so now let's play with posterize again. You know what? Here, let's duplicate this. Duplicate this layer. And now we can play with this top one, the posterize. And then we can just always have like a quick um set of layers, colors, auto. What was it? Posterize. Okay. Yeah, once we start posterizing, we can visualize and see what it was before. Okay, so this is three colors, so that's black, white, and gray. Let's get a little more, and then we can sort of choose where we want. See, that's getting closer. So some initial thoughts. What this light gray could be cut all the way through, which is white, and then around the eye, that's all fine. And then this chunk in the middle would be gray. You could kind of make that work. As I'm looking at this, I'm thinking about the reality of the pumpkin. So this would be a peninsula of pumpkin that would be jutting out, and it would be a little hollow because it would have a chunk out of here and a couple chunks out of there. And then this part, this would sort of work. This would work. And the teeth. Okay, I'm kind of seeing it. We would lose this cheek because we'd only get one shade of gray. Um, let's see here. What if we went up to 9? So, okay, so that that grows this white, or it shrinks this white part and grows this peninsula out a little bit, which would be a little bit more um, pumpkin flesh for stability, so it would last a little longer. But I feel like that maybe it's hard for you guys to know exactly what I'm talking about right now. Oh, I'm gonna close that. Hmm. The tier is the good, but we lose the tier. We'd lose that tier if all of this was white. So that's something we'd have to account for. So it would just be a little bit here. Maybe we could drag the tier all the way down. I don't know. And then the flowers would be a little bit of a confusion, but that's okay. People that would recognize it would recognize it. And then we'd have to make some choices on where to put the black here. Okay. All right, let's start here. Let's start with okay, posterize level 8. Good. Okay. And then so now we can always go back using our visualization, go back and go, oh, see, this is what happened. This is what we lost. We lost the tear. We lost the shape of the nose. You know, you have to make sacrifices. But this isn't too bad. And you can cut out the middle and just look at what the original was and what we get. It's not it's not adding details that aren't really there, just sometimes a worry. I might want to draw this cheek line a little bit lower because we do lose that. Hmm. Okay. Hmm. Yes. Oh, you know what? There's something we lost in colorization. So that was 8. Let's see if we can. Hmm. We didn't do a good job of isolating the figure from the background. I'm thinking about her hair and the blue behind her. It sort of blends into her neck over here where it says hereditary. Kind of lose that line a little. Hmm. Because all of that blue I want to be white. How do we fix that? We could do a color replace. Let's play with that. Let's duplicate this layer one more time. And then we'll do a color replace. So color, oh, what was this? Like a find and replace? There used to be a good one called find and replace. I don't know if we still have that. Mm, selection tools, maybe fuzzy select by color. Okay, so what if we just select blue? Oh, whatever that is, threshold's way too high. Let's just pick somewhere in the blue. Okay, good. And then let's just paint that whatever's selected with something insane, like a pink. Yeah, right up there. There we go. Okay, and then we'll just paint that all. Okay, now let's do deselect, which is just Shift A. Select, what is that? How do I deselect? Control A. There it is. Control A deselects everything. Okay. Good. So now let's do the two things we did before, which is oh, actually now that it's all pink, maybe I could just turn it white. Yeah, let's do that. We'll just turn it all white. So Control Z, switch the colors here, and then paint it all white. Good. Okay, now Control A to deselect everything, and we'll do the same things we did before, which was color. Um, oh no, desaturate. Good. No, not playing with anything there. And then color, posterize, and we liked 8. See if that's pretty much what we got before, except for now we have clarity around where the figure ends. See, that's what we gained. Okay, so we like that. Now we're going to pull that all the way up and make that our. Can we pull this up in the. What's going on here? We'll pull this layer up. Huh. I have to scroll to the right? How do I drag this layer up? Hmm. There's something hiding in the bars here. Grab it? Maybe they have to be visible? Am I thinking about it? No. Layer attributes. No. Weird. I seem to remember being able to move these. Oh, is it this? Ah, there we go. Good. Didn't lose that ability. I just forgot how to do it. And the one before it. Good, good, good. Okay. So now we're playing with this. We made our gradient selection, and now we have to start consolidating a bunch of shades of gray into one shade of gray. Now it's possible to get more than one shade of gray, but it's not clear. There's a very big difference between having a untouched pumpkin versus a shaved pumpkin, and then there's a big difference between having a shave and a cut all the way through in terms of the amount of light that's allowed through. But having a thin wall pumpkin and a thick wall pumpkin, it doesn't read that well. You have to have really good lighting and a really good settings on your camera in order to pick that up. So making the choices of what's gray and what's black is the name of the game. Okay, so now we'll use that selection tool we used before, which let us, let's see, was that select by color? Good. And then let's make some choices here. So some things that are white or near white are going to be really white. So her lips, the top of her lip, are those already white? Let's see. Um, okay, so we'll take that and then we'll paint it with just pure white. Right? It's just pure white, white, white. Good, good, good. All right, so we'll use our paints with everything selected and just make it white. Um, good. Maybe we should duplicate a layer again. I'm a little paranoid about losing data and having to go back too far. Okay, now here we are. All right, let's make what seems white actually jet white. Good. Yeah, I'm gonna lose all this text. We'll just have to work around that. Honestly, it's easier to ignore than you think. This pattern is not going to be for public consumption. It's going to be for me. So having it too fancy, it just feels like a waste of time. No one's paying me for the actual pattern. It's just something I'm going to use. And if you download and use it too, then uh, you can make it fancier if you need to. But once it's on the pumpkin, you can kind of draw with a pen if some things aren't super clear. Okay, so now we've got all the things we expect to be white are actually white. Now the next thing we can do is things that we expect to be black, make those black. But sometimes you lose data there. So let's do the select by color. Let's zoom in. This is control scroll to get in and click. Oh, it selects more than just the darkest black because the threshold's so high. What if we made this all the threshold 0? And then we just select black. Good, and we'll see what's actually jet black. Not much. Okay. So we'll take that and we'll make that absolutely jet black using our bucket fill. Just click. Good. If it wasn't black before, it is now. Okay, now we'll take our threshold or posterize, and now I'm gonna hold down Shift and select the next darkest color, which is this near black. Boop. So now you'll see the selection includes the jet black and the next color black up. So now I could just paint all this jet black, which would say everything that's near black is now jet black. Let's see what that looks like. Bloop. Okay, now we'll deselect everything and shift this around. Okay. I don't think we lost anything. This is what I expected. That should be jet black there, but we want this to be black too. So we've got even further to grow and darken the dark grays. So this is a good spot to duplicate a layer. Bloop. And now again, the reason I do this, if I ever need to go back before darkening that, I can go back before I start reducing colors. So basically we're in the process of color reduction. Now there's a point where it gets really tricky between shades of gray, where you don't want to just absolutely change all. You want to save some of the. We'll get there. We'll get there. We're almost there. Okay, so the white is white, the black is black. Now we have to think like, okay, in general, yeah, I think we need to get the blacks a little bit bigger. So let's go to the next shade of gray. Let's find it. Where's the next darkest gray? Feels like it's this. So we'll select that. Bloop. Oh, okay. This is where we're getting into some decisions. All right, just for fun, let's see what happens if we turn all that black too and see if we lose anything. So zoom out. Okay. And now we'll do undo and redo. So that's Y and Z. Okay, so Z and Y, Z and Y, Z and Y. I think that's good. So I'm going to hit Control A again so that it deselects everything. You can read a little bit better. I'll duplicate this layer again. We can take a look at this. That's looking pretty good. Yeah, okay, so we haven't lost any. This is still not black. I want that to be black, otherwise we'll completely lose that line around the mouth. And I want this to be black too. And we've already started to lose because that went all the way down here in the original. If you look here, this line goes all the way down, and we've lost that completely. So now this is why it's good to have those. Oh, the spit. Oh, I think we're gonna lose the spit. It's too much. Oh no, maybe we can. That's funny. She's not looking good. Okay. So now maybe so we've gone from the whitest white and grown that, and we've gone from the darkest dark and grown that. Now maybe we can go from the middle gray and try to grow that out. So let's count the grays we have here. We've got one, two, three, and then that's it. This is white, that's black. We've got three shades of gray. Is there anything else hidden up here? There's white, light, mid, dark gray, black and white. So, but before we can call this pattern complete, we have to reduce three colors of gray down to one. And this is the hardest part because this is where you lose detail. So now, just as an example, I'll show you how awful this can look if you just shove all three together and why we need to be a little bit more particular. So let's select the light, and then we'll select the mid, and then we'll select the dark. And now I'll just take some middle gray color. So right there. Good, okay, and now paint it all with that. This is gonna look terrible. Bloop. Yeah. So this is what we're avoiding. I mean, you can kind of recognize it, but you lose that line of her face. This is actually really good. Let's go. What do you lose? You lose the line of her face. Her ear is sort of a mess. You lose her jawline here. Um, the hair, not so much. The ear is really not terrible. eye, yeah, you lose this part. Like all the fuzziness, you can kind of just like draw that. Yeah, it's really around the mouth. Yeah, I'd want to grow these darks out a little bit. Yeah, mostly I think we need to grow the dark rather than grow the white. Okay. Okay, so we'll take this, Control Z, that color change. Loop. So we've got our colors back. Thank goodness. Okay, so I want to grow the dark. So let's take the darkest. Hmm. This is where we might need to be a little bit more particular. Okay, so the hair is already so predominantly dark that I don't really want to mess. I don't want to lose that detail because if we made all of the near the dark gray black, we would lose some of that detail. So now I might start treating the hair differently from the skin. So in order to do that, you still select the darkest gray using the color selector. Boop. And instead of um, using the brute bucket fill tool, I can instead use just a normal paintbrush. And now you want to make sure the hardness on this is 100%. The opacity is 100%. The hardness is 100% because you don't want to add any um, uh, other colors. You want to just change something that's dark gray and make it black. Um, and then we're going to treat it differently from the hair. So I'm going to not touch the hair at all and just use this paintbrush on the darkest grays. So we know we definitely want to keep this, so we'll just paint over that. What? Oh, I have it with the dark gray color. Let's make it black. What we're actually painting is black. So bloop. So now we've got that dark gray and it's black. Let's see the nostril. What do we want to do with the nostril? Just having it black there. Let's see what it looks like to make that black. Let's see. Hmm. Yeah, I think that's okay. Um, yeah, let's grow all of this. I'll make this very big. Let's grow all of this and make all that black. So everything that is skin. Let's go with the hair. The skin and hair down there, we can kind of grow. Yeah, I like that. I like that. What about in the mouth? Yes, that's good. Keep that up here. Eye and eyebrow. Yes, it's good. What about the ear? Let's change the size down. Oh, is it chuggy? Oh, I'm getting an error here. Wonder what's going on. Oh, it froze up. Hmm. What if I, oh, there we go. Okay. Yeah, let's change the size down. A little bigger. And let's make the darks in the ear darker on the inside, but keep that clear. Oh, no. Let's Control Z that. Um, yeah, we want to save that line of the ear. So I won't make those darks bigger, but I will make these. Good. See, it's good. So now you can see we're making decisions about which, like I want to keep her hairline. Hmm. Yeah, we don't want her hairline to get, we want to keep those dark grays as gray. Okay, okay. All right, so now we've taken a dark gray and turned it to black. And now Let's see. I'm gonna Control Z. I like this. I like these changes. Or Control A to deselect everything. I like those changes. I'm gonna duplicate the layer. And now we're gonna do the opposite. We're gonna take dark grays up. Um, hmm. Okay, so on the skin, we took dark grays and made them black. Now in the hair, we're gonna take the lightest gray, this one, and make it what? Let's do that. Let's take the lightest gray and make it white. So now we're doing it differentially. Up until now, we've treated the entire image as one, but now we're treating the hair different from the skin. And the reason is we don't want to lose detail. So the skin is naturally brighter. If we treat them all the same, we'd lose detail, and the hair is naturally darker. So now let's take the lightest grays. We'll select them all by color. So that's this one. And then in the hair, we will take a big paintbrush and paint them white. So I'm gonna do this real kind of sloppy. Just stay in the hair and not on the skin, and it should look fine. Yeah, we can lose the wispies. That's okay. We just have it be, yeah, yeah. Good, 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 good. Yes, I like that. Okay. So now we'll undo it or deselect with Control A. Let's go duplicate this layer for safety and now see how our hair looks compared to with color. Yes, that's good. Yeah, we want those to pop. Yeah, 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 yeah. In fact, I don't think we need all that detail. So now, okay, whenever you grow white, you have to make sure that um, you're not getting floating black anywhere. And we have that problem actually right here. We've got floating black. Now, if you tried to make a pumpkin with that and you carved all the way around it, it would disappear. It would just turn white. We could show you what that looks like with just the paintbrush. Just take that, make it white, and boop, you get something like that. And then this wouldn't float because the geometry is messed up. This is too thin, so it would get like that. So you would lose that detail up there, and that's unforgivable. So we made too much white around the edge. If we want to keep that, we have to go back. Okay, so let's go back to this layer, and then we'll delete this layer completely, which will take us back to um, right here. Oh, which one did we do? Control Z, Control Z, Control Z. Okay. This one, yeah, that's the one we want to play with. Okay, so we'll move this where we played at that and just delete it. Delete layer. Ooh, okay. So now even this was too much. So let's go to the one below it before we lost that. Okay. And now we'll make, we want to keep this. Darn, we may have to make that, that's so skimpy. In order to have that be pumpkin flesh, it would almost disappear. We'd have to thicken that. So maybe we'll cheat and try to maintain that detail by turning what was white into gray. So we'll color select, we'll grab all that white, and then we want to keep, or we want to not lose it by turning it into middle gray. How do we do that? We have a middle gray. How do I select that? I forget. It's control. Yeah, that's the dropper. So you hit control and the icon changes to a dropper. And then we'll make that our middle gray. Scroll over here and oh, oh boy. Gotta make it smaller. Okay, so we're gonna turn all this white into the middle gray. Sorry. Little blip there. That over. Yes. Okay. Great. Yes, we'll maintain that. All right. And then we'll force Control A. We'll duplicate this layer, move it up. Ooh. Okay, and now we've got this weird mix where we've got light gray around a middle gray. Um, hmm, let's see. So we're gonna select light gray and turn that middle gray. So that's all light gray. We're gonna turn that into the middle gray, at least over here where we kind of got ham-fisted. We want to maintain some detail at the very edges, shape. Okay, good. Unselect. Duplicate layer for funsies, even though that was tiny. We might notice something else we lost here. Okay, and then sense check this uh, by, there we go. Okay, so we took a white flower at the edge and turned it into something gray. So it's a little different from the poster, but we get this nice, we keep maintaining the shape of the hat, which is good. Okay, so now remembering our steps, we took all of the darkest grays on the face and made them black, and then we took all the lightest grays on the headpiece and made them white. Let's try that again in the headpiece. So we'll select the lightest gray and try to make it white using paintbrush, hard brush, pretty big size, and then select white. Okay, and then let's just try it out. So we're growing the white again. We're growing the white and it's taking over gray space. And whenever we do this, we have to be careful we don't get any floating black or floating gray. And that's everything. Does anything become troublesome? Yes. Yes. Down here, we've got this as more of a mess than it needs to be. So let's undo that whole thing and we'll just ignore down here and we'll make those light grays middle gray, if you know what I mean. Everything else, hmm, this can grow for sure. I might get really specific here. Okay, so up here, I think you lose detail. Let's go one by one. This area, I think you lose detail if you trim that. For this, not a big deal. Okay, that's fine. Turn those light ones mid-gray. Up here, let's see what it looks like. Oh, we've got floating black there. You don't really get anything. Yeah, that's okay. Up here. Oh yeah, I like growing this. Let's make that really bright. Yeah, this whole thing can be really bright. Now that we've made this sturdier, yeah, you get some nice contrast here. Yeah, let's grow all those whites and this. Yes, this will be like the bright spot. Not too close to the edge here because structurally I want more pumpkin flesh. So I won't grow that too much. Um, okay. Yeah, that can be all white. It's fine. This can be white. This can be white. You might lose some detail if we made that all white. Let's see what happens. Yeah, you get this weird lattice that might actually work. That looks kind of beautiful. Yeah, I like that. Let's keep that. And you don't have to worry about flesh as much because this hard edge is going to be there. Okay, good, good, good. All right. Okay. Now let's sense check this a little. Do we have any floating black or gray? In here, it's a little tricky, but when we're actually doing the pumpkin, we can make some decisions there. But just for the edification of this video, I can get specific down in there. And then this is a little thin. Okay. All right. So, okay, we've got our focus back here. Let's deselect everything. Let's duplicate this layer. So we can always go back and then let's sense check it against the original. Yeah, that keeps the flower there. I think that looks good. Mm, this doesn't need to be white, this one here. So I'm going to select white and then turn it into the middle gray by hovering over the middle gray we like, which is this one. Holding down select so it changes to a dropper, clicking it with my left click, and now I've got middle gray, and I can change that white to middle gray. Or else that matter. Yeah, this can be middle gray, that's fine. Is there anything that's a leaf? It's trying to look like a flower. I like this one, but not there. Wait, wait. Yeah, this can all be gray. Let's see. Yeah, I'm basically deciding that the flowers are gonna be white. Mm, yeah. Okay. Okay, that's good. We still have this problem up here. Just do this now. Deselect. Take a normal paintbrush. I've already got the middle gray on there, and I'm just gonna thicken this. Yeah, and then this floating black. Let's make that black, and I'll just thicken it up. This white, this right here, we're gonna just thicken it up. It might be ugly. Let's see. Let's compare it to. Yeah, it's a little too broad. A little too broad for black. All right, let's go back a couple steps. Um, yeah, and then we'll change this from 18 down to, I don't know, 8. And then change it from black to middle gray, and then do the same thing. Thicken that, thicken that. Yeah, I'm not doing find and replace, select and replace. Just, yeah, I'm just trying to make sure we don't lose too much detail or get a structural problem. Let's call all this. It'll still look pretty, and it's flowers, so you don't. There's not. If you're paying close attention to all the flowers, you're missing the where the eye should be, which is down here. Okay, okay, okay. Good, good, good. All right. Okay, so now let's take the remaining light gray and make them all middle gray. Oh, let's duplicate this since we did some work. We'll sense check it. Yeah, there's some things that you don't really care that much about what's going on up here. Have it making structural sense is more important than getting the details in the flowers right. You want to get the details of expression right. You want this to pop. Up here doesn't matter as much. All right. Okay, so now select light grays. This one. Boop. And we'll make those all middle gray using our paintbrush. We've already got the middle gray selected. Let's make it big. Bigger. Good. Now we can just paint it all. Okay. Good. All right, and undo. Good, we're getting real close to being done with the hair. All right, so now we've just got middle light gray. Just make that. Oh, I guess it's the dark gray we're bringing up to middle gray. Okay. Is this our middle gray? Yeah, we've got. Okay, well, I like this gray, this middle gray. So we'll select all of our dark gray. Oh, just for funsies, duplicate, sense check. Okay, and then take the light gray, make it middle gray. Let's see. This is the color. I want it all to be this middle gray. So we'll select, oh, sorry. I'm going to take our pen and drop that. That's going to be the middle gray we're targeting. We're going to select any of the light grays remaining in the hair and make them middle gray. So many light grays comes over. Oh, I got a little in the ear there. That's okay. Boop. Boop, 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 boop. Okay. It doesn't seem to change much. Maybe we were duping the same color. Okay, so now let's take the dark gray. In fact, everything that seems gray, we'll select it all at once. So this, and then hold down Shift and get the dark gray. Good. And now it's just grays, dark grays, and white. And now we'll paint that middle gray. This is maybe too big. It doesn't like chugging at that size. There we go. We lose a little detail, but it totally doesn't matter. And detail is confusing at this point. It's supposed to just be a jumble of flowery things. If you know the poster, it'll evoke that. If you don't, you won't spend too much time thinking about it. And then, let's get down here. We don't need to care too much about the hair. Good. Now we'll take away the selection. We've got 3 colors in the hair. The hair is ready to print. Yeah, we don't have too much floating black or gray. We haven't completely lost sense of what the pattern was. We can simplify some of this stuff when we actually are putting knife to pumpkin, and we won't lose much. We're good. Okay, this is, duplicate this. I'm going to actually control and save this whole thing. Just save it to desktop for now. Bloop. Just save it with whatever the GIMP file is. I think it's XSF or something like that. XF. Okay, so now the hair is in good shape. Now we have to make the big decisions on the skin. This is where we can mess things up. I was being kind of a baby by doing the hair first because the decisions are lower stakes. So now we have to get the 3 grays and turn them into 1 gray. So we've got dark gray, middle gray. Was that it? We were just down to 2 grays? Okay, so now on the bright, in general, we want to take the brighter parts and maintain detail by making the light grays mid-gray. So let's start there. Let's select all the light grays, boop, and then slide them towards middle gray, which is that. Yeah, there we go. So we'll maintain all that. We'll maintain this. Yeah, and then all that, yes. Yes. And then up here, yes. Um, let's not go into the eye yet. Let's go all around here. There's not much to be added by making that white. Yeah, we don't want to draw the eye there too much. You get the shape enough there. Okay. Let's go here. Okay. Yes. All right. Let's make this smaller and get a little bit more specific. I don't want to lose too much detail here. The eye is the most important part, so it's worth babying a little. Because I might want to turn some of this light gray white, especially as it gets darker there. Okay, so we'll deselect, sense check. That black line, I might want to extend manually. Hmm. Okay, and I might want to, okay, so let's duplicate this, save it. Let's turn some of this light gray white. So let's select it again. Hmm. Wait. So the scary part. Okay, turn to black and white. Turn to white. Okay. Oh, what happened? What am I selecting? Am I selecting dark gray? There it is. Just dark gray. No, no, light gray, light gray. Turn light gray, white. Yes, yes, yes. In the eye, I don't want to lose too much on that. Let's look at the original. Yeah, I want the eye to be glistening. That's it. And the rest of this can just be gray. I think, no, maybe right there. Nope. We found the end. Okay, so now we'll change I drop to that, and then we'll change all this to normal. All right, it's all done. Zoom out. Oh, it looks like there's a hair of light gray we didn't mess with. Let's take that and turn it all middle gray. Yeah, I don't know where we got that. Oh, that's weird. You can ignore that. Okay, there you go. That's good enough. The actual smoothing out of these lines and little decisions you can make when you're actually carving the pumpkin. Um, you ignore the text completely. Um, but now the most important thing is invert the whole thing. Oh, wait, wait. No, no, we've got this gray. We still got a dark gray. Hang on. Do this. I think we can just paint that middle gray with just the bucket tool. Boop, and lose nothing. Then we can go and see if there's any other grays. I don't know why this one's so weird. That one's really weird. Let's just dump it middle gray. What's going on? Oh, I don't know how that happened, but I can just smooth it out with just painting normal gray over it. Okay, so there should only be three colors. I'm counting three. Light. Um, there is a couple, so let's light gray this. Let's take that. Uh, let's grow the threshold a little bit. No, no, no. Ah, either way, it's fine. Let's take this. We don't need to get too fussy with it. We'll save the whole thing. We'll duplicate the layer and then do the final thing, which is invert it. So you take the color, you invert it. Oh, looks like that's some selection. Take the whole thing, colors, invert, print that, ignore the text, um, cut the black, shade the gray, and you'll have a pumpkin pattern. That's it. You can do something fun now, which is duplicate this, Duplicate the layer, take this layer, and then what is it? Colors. What is it? Desaturate. No. Map. Yeah, what happens if we just take select all the white and then paint it as like a mid yellow. Okay, yeah, there. Okay, just paint it. Bloop. Then you take the gray, select that, and then paint it mid orange. Sure. Bloop. Oh no, no. With the bucket. Boop. Good, 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 good. And then, wait, did I get this wrong? Oh, hang on. Back, back. No, no, no. Yeah, yeah, I got it wrong. I got it wrong. Uh, take the, yes, yes, yes. Okay, so take the black, make it yellow. Bloop. Take the middle gray, make it the fun orange. Bloop. Oh, with the bucket tool, yes. And then take the white, bloop, and make it black. That's why you have to do it that order, otherwise you're trading off what's black. Boop. Hey, look at that. We got a pumpkin. Shift A. That's the pattern you're looking for. Looks like we forgot some little gray. Just make that the orange. This is what it should look like in the end. I'll put this a link to this where you can download the pattern once I resize it and make it something that'll print up at about 10 inches tall, and then edit, like frame it a little bit so that it can be not too big when you print it out. Probably just um, resize the whole layer a little bit, cut it from the bottom. But that's basically it. That's the hard part, reshaping it and printing it. You guys can all figure that out. That's it. Thanks for checking in, Pumpkin Heads.